Hello my beautiful fragrance family, Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid, click that like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews, that $40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can pick up at your local rack stores. Doing a lot of pickups from the rack store lately because, as you guys know, they are coming out with a lot of clones, and I'm picking up a bunch of them. And if you're getting sick of the clones, then it is what it is right now because that's what's hitting. So this one's been kind of a long time coming. I've heard a lot of hype on this thing, and I'm finally going to bring you guys a full review on Oud Woody by Milestone, the Tom Ford Oud Wood clone. It's kind of a yellowish bottle, and standard looking everything like they always are, $16.99 at Marshall's. And the atomizer lid does not slide into place whatsoever. It's just decoration at this point. And the atomizer itself, as always, amazing. So if you're familiar with the original Tom Ford Oud Wood, then if you've smelled this one, if you've gotten your nose on this one, then you will know that this is pretty close. They kind of nailed it with this one. 90 to 95%. One of their most accurate, if not their most accurate depiction of those Tom Fords that they're kind of going after. The oud note in this doesn't really have any of that animalic part to it. There's not a whole lot of that whatsoever. This is a very smooth, warm, earthy kind of an oud note with a decent dose of sandalwood, creamy vanilla, tonka beans in there, that beautiful, seductive cardamom, a hint of that Sichuan pepper. It's like just enough of that spice to make this thing captivating. It is alluring. This is one of those fragrances that when you smell it, you kind of want to get closer to it. It's a good type of a fragrance for being like around a fireplace or something like that, or on a date night. If you were going on using this for like a date night fragrance, this would be one that you would dial the sprays back because the performance and the projection on this one is decent. It's not a beast, but it's decent. I was getting a good, I'll say 6.5 hours minimum. I was working. I was doing some work with this thing, and I probably shouldn't have been wearing it because it got way hotter than I was expecting it. It was like 82 to 83 degrees. We're in December, but it's Tampa Bay. And this thing was pumping off of me the entire time that I was working. I was out there in the sun working for like 6 hours, and I could smell it strongly before I took my clothes off and changed. Here at church today, this thing was just pumping off my skin the whole time. People liked the way that it smelled. I liked the way that it smelled. Very warm, smooth, creamy, somewhat spicy, seductive kind of a fragrance. I'm going to spray it again because I really enjoy the way this smells. Dare I say that so far, this is probably my favorite in the lineup. I like the amber leather a whole lot, but this one, it's not as aggressive. It's just smoother, it's easier, it's more universal, it's safer in a sense. It's very, very captivating. Like I said, it's got that creaminess with a touch of that pepper, a good dose of vanilla. There's a decent dose of vanilla and amber. There's a sweetness to this thing, almost like some kind of a dark fruit or like a raspberry or something like that. There's some kind of like a berry type of a scent profile, not fruit, but like a berry thing going on in this. But there's none of that listed in here, so the combination of like the cardamom, vanilla, and the amber and a little bit of that pepper is giving it that kind of appeal, because pepper, Szechuan pepper, even black pepper can kind of have somewhat of a citrus aspect to it. So with that kind of a twist coupled with the creamy vanilla and stuff like that, mixed with all the other notes like the sandalwood and the vetiver and things in here, can kind of give nuances of things that aren't even listed. So there's almost like that raspberry-ish type of a thing going on here without having any of that actually in it. This is a cooler weather fragrance. Definitely great for the evening. It'll work well during the day if the temperatures are right. Like I said, I wore it in the warmer temperature. It wasn't that bad, but it's not something that I would recommend sweating in. The vetiver was really coming out in the dry down. When it came down in the far dry down of this thing, there was like a good dose of that vetiver, and the pepper was hanging on decent in this. I was enjoying it though. It never got real earthy or dusty. It got a little bit dusty at the end, but it pretty much stayed creamy and smooth for the whole life of this thing. So overall rating, I'll give this thing an 8. If it was longer in performance, if this thing was like an 8-hour plus fragrance, there's no doubt in my mind this could be like an 8.5 or something, but just based on the fact that it's slightly above average performance, the scent profile alone garnishes it like a 7.5, and with that little bit of extra performance, this thing is a solid 8 across the board. It's an awesome fragrance. They really nailed it with this one. This one is one of those ones that's worth looking out for, going and hunting for. It's that good of a fragrance. You see this thing, just scoop it up, just pick it up. If you're into oud fragrances and stuff like that, because a lot of people aren't, but this is one of those safer ones. This is probably a compliment style of fragrance too, because there's just enough of that pepper to grab people's attention and kind of draw them in, like, hey, what are you wearing? That really smells great. So, more masculine, more mature. This is labeled as unisex, but I would say that this falls a little bit heavier on the masculine side, in my opinion. But a woman could get away with this, but I wouldn't really recommend it because it has a little bit more of a masculine aspect. And college and above would probably be about the age range-ish that I would go with this thing. So it's not going to be like a good gift idea for somebody super young, but it's just an overall great smelling fragrance. So like I said, if you don't have this one, kind of be on the hunt for it. If you see it, smell it, let it sit for a minute even. It doesn't really change a whole lot, but it is a fragrance, and some people, they do change a little bit more on the skin. So that's my final thoughts on Milestone's Oud Wood. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.